Hi, it's Agnes, and I'm doing a viewer question request today. So, it's from Dr. Ratuja Arali. Hello, Agnes. I've been a follower of your channel since a couple of months now. Recently stumbled upon Neville's book, The Law and the Promise, and read about revision, which got me a bit confused. According to Abraham and The Secret, we shouldn't be thinking about the past at all, isn't it? The book and Abraham says we give momentum to that and bring in the same circumstances, which makes me not think of the past at all. But I have realized it is that when you're pondering upon certain arguments or mistakes or guilt, the same mistakes happen again. I have experienced it and I have lost a lot. Anyway, I would love to know if I can revise without bringing in negative vibes and get peace and attract my specific person back. Okay, just hang on, my laptop's falling down. Anyway, I'd love to know if I can revise without bringing in negative vibes and get peace and attract my specific ex. Also, what if there are many arguments, disagreements? Should I go over each of them? Sorry, I have a lot of questions. I'd be extremely grateful if you could do a YouTube about explaining this. Okay, I think this is a really good question too. So I'm going to go through and just break it down a bit. So the Neville revision is about going back to obviously past things that have happened that were not to your liking, and then you revise them into how you would like them to be. So that's Neville's take on that. But according to Abraham and The Secret, we should not be thinking about the past at all. Yeah, and you know what? This is where you'll find different law of attraction teachers, different techniques, different ways of looking at it, different ways around the wheel. So, with Neville, what he is saying is you go back to a past event where something happened that was not good, and then you are basically reimagining it in a new way so that you are deleting the problem within you, and then you are replacing it with the solution, what you would have liked to have happened, okay? So that's what revision is, and you're doing that. So you are thinking about the past for a very short moment, which is the past that wasn't good. But then what you're doing is you're pasting over the top how you would have liked it to be, which means you're deleting the problem within you, creating the solution, and then that solution then goes forth into your present, you see. So what you're doing is you're recreating, because the past is still alive, you see. It's got tentacles. So that thing that happened to you back there, especially if it's to do with people, emotional conversations, emotional arguments and all that stuff, every time you think back to these people, it reactivates those things that happened. It's like tentacles on an octopus, like the legs on an octopus. It connects you still from you here, but you've got active what happened then, and it connects you. The past is still connected, it's still alive, and that's what Neville means by that. So, where was I going with this? So, yes, it does create the same circumstances if, and this is the big if, you keep thinking about the past in the negative first situation that you had that caused you the grief, you see. But if you go back and you do this revision, you eventually come to the point where you rub out the negative emotion of it, you rub out the thoughts of it, and then you've recreated a memory, so to speak. You're actually superimposing a new memory onto that old blueprint so that you release yourself emotionally from the tentacles of the octopus. I hope that makes sense. I hope the visuals help you. So, Now, the next bit you say, I've realized it when you ponder upon certain arguments or mistakes or guilt, the mistakes happen again. Yes, and that's exactly right, because you reinfect yourself with it today, even though it was a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, a decade ago, 20 years ago, or even in your childhood. You've dragged it in and reinfected yourself emotionally and mentally with what happened back then. See, they say the past is dead. And technically it is. It's not here right now, and it was a long time ago. But it's the emotional and mental components that you've kept alive that keep the past alive today and then recreate similar situations. That's why people always say, why is this happening to me again? It's because you got the mental and emotional components still active about that particular thing, you see. So, let me just see what else you've said here. I have experienced it and I've lost a lot. Yeah, when you keep going over, reinfecting yourself, it definitely makes you lose stuff again and again and again. I would love to know if I can revise without bringing in negative vibes. Yeah, absolutely. Now, revision, see, you use revision to create a new scene. You're not going back over the old stuff. Okay, so let me give you an example. Say you've lost all your money when you were, say, 10 years ago, and you didn't have anywhere to live, you were struggling to eat, you had trouble getting anything together, you were really anxious and it was awful, and then 10 years later, you get to the place where you've in that time got a job, you've re-established yourself, you feel much better because you're earning money again, but you've still got that fear about what happened back there. So then what happens is the situation recreates itself again. And so instead of continuing to reinfect yourself with, oh my God, I'm scared that's going to happen to me again, what if I lose everything again? I remember what that was like and I don't want to go back there. What you do is you go back and you revise it so that that situation didn't happen to you, where you went from the job you lost to a more fantastic job where they paid you more, where you got a better place to live and you had more for you and for your family or for whoever you live with, and that you created a better life. So that's the solution that would have been the replacement for that not very pleasant event. So then what happens is it releases the tentacles from that stuff so it doesn't happen in the present anymore, you see. So you revise it, but you've got to keep your focus and your revision on the solution scene. Stop diverting back to the old scene, okay? So you just revise and you keep your focus on the revised scene. So you've said here, how do I revise without bringing in negative vibes? Well, you've got to keep your mind and your imaginal act on the revised scene, and then you bring in the feelings of relief and feeling of joy and feeling of, oh, I'm so glad that's so much better. That's how you get, that's how you don't bring in the negative stuff, you see. So also, what if there are many arguments, disagreements? Should I go over each of them? Sorry, I have a lot of questions. No, you can just pick one. Pick probably the worst one, the nastiest one, the one where you felt really, 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 really bad. And then just do that one scene over and over and over. People have asked this before. Should I do one scene or should I do multiple scenes when there were multiple things going on, like in this case, multiple arguments? So what you do is you just go over one scene over and over, like I talked about in the video from a couple of days ago. You do one scene over and over and over, so it creates a feeling of naturalness, okay? Because that's what it has to feel like, that it's natural and it feels like the obvious way to go, yeah? Okay, that's it, my lovely. Hope that helps you, and yeah, just be mindful. Abraham Hicks, Neville Goddard, sometimes they don't link up. It's all right. Just take the bits you want from both and put some things into practice. If something doesn't resonate, just leave it. And just know sometimes it is going to be confusing because they have got different ways around the circle. Neville's been dead since the 70s, 1970s. Esther's still alive, different times. And just keep that in mind. It's okay. But yeah, it's good you asked the question.